Hi Aries, welcome to your mid-July to the end of July reading. This is Tarot and Astrology. Now you may notice that you have a stack of cards rather than me holding cards and shuffling on screen. This is going to remove some of the shuffling time. Lord knows it took enough shuffling to get all these cards because for you there was a lot of stuff. So this is going to be primarily focused on 4 different decks of cards, so to get as much stuff as we can for you and tie it into the astrology and whatnot for the rest of July. Now, one of the things for you, Aries, is that this is primarily a career and ambitions style stack for you, really. So a lot of the cards that came out were to do with your public ambitions. So if you're looking for more romantic or emotional, do check out your moon and rising if you're an Aries sun, or check out, if this is your Aries rising or whatever, do tie it into your other signs as well. So the 2 cards that I got for you were manifestation and spiritual maturity. So for a lot of you, I think that this has come from Mars being in your first house, because Mars was in Pisces there in your 12th, and it was really getting you to grips, Aries, with your more spiritual side and probably opening your mind a little bit to other possibilities. Now, this does not have to be the woo-woo world that we have of tarot and astrology. I mean, obviously you're somewhat interested if you're here, but this can be many things. It can be psychology, it can be just emotional health, emotional well-being, meditating, some kind of form or practice is going to be really beneficial for you in terms of staying grounded, because one of the things that I'm getting for you, Aries, from the cards is that in terms of progression, particularly in career, you really need to be staying grounded, because the first cards we had for you were the Ace of Air and the 10 of Fire. So one thing that I'm getting for you very much so is that you're overwhelmed with work. There are a lot of challenges. There's too much to be done. Things feel out of balance. And if it's not that you're having too heavy a workload, it's that you're very stressed about where your career is going, what you can achieve, whether you're going to get somewhere with something. Because I feel like there is a new idea or an inspiration or an opportunity that you really, really, really want. And you have to get in contact with your truth. So, your truth being your motivations for why you want it, why you want to make these changes. And really with the air energy, the Ace of Air, Aries, anything that's going on in your career at the moment is a double-edged sword. At what cost is your success coming? Or, what is it that you feel like you're sacrificing to get to where you want to go? And is it something that you really want? Because an Aries that has... Aries always has goals, right? You always have something that you want to strive to do. You are that ram. You want to climb. You want to make progress. You want to work at things. You always have goals. But if you're really not interested in it and you're feeling really overwhelmed with it, you can honestly block yourself from a lot of things that you want. I feel that at the minute with the other cards that are coming up though, there's a lot of really good stuff coming in for you in terms of career. But first and foremost, Aries, you need to stay grounded. You need to stay grounded. You need to know what it is that you want, what it is that you're trying to manifest. Having a really clear, precise view of what it is that you want. With the Ace of Air, I feel that you are getting some kind of clarity from the middle of July about what your path is, what direction you want to go. And I think for a lot of you with the Ace of Air as well, there is potentially a new opportunity. Be it a promotion or job offer, there is some kind of something very new. All I can say is that it's something very new, and it comes as almost an opportunity to cut ties, to cut through the BS, to cut out anything that's not working for you, especially if it's overwhelming and draining you. Because with the 10 of Fire, you also... One thing that I'm hearing is that you're not asking for help, or you're not being listened to when you're asking for help in terms of work, or you feel like you have to take everything on yourself. And one of the things that is also coming up for you, Aries, is that you have to make sure that you have, I think you need to feel like you have a little bit more control is one thing that I'm sort of hearing. I feel that yes, you need to ask for help in some degree, but you're not. And the reason that you're not asking for help isn't because you don't trust or believe in other people. It's because you want a little bit more autonomy. Okay, so with Mars being in your sign for the rest of the year, this really is going to be a journey for you, and it is going to be a climb, as it were. As you can see the mountain in this, the 2 people climbing up the mountain to the top, reaching the peak. you will get to the top, but you won't get to the top alone, is one thing that I'm hearing. As much as you want autonomy and you want to be in charge, you want to be independent with Mars being in your sign, you know, your path to success seems to have somebody on it, whether it's a spiritual advisor, somebody who's very emotionally smart, somebody to help you on the way up, to keep you grounded and to keep you feeling motivated in a way that really makes you feel secure. So with the Three of Wands, the Six of Wands and the Star, I feel like you're headed towards really exciting times. I feel like you're making great career plans for the future. I feel like between now and August you have great news in terms of your career. Either it's recognition, things starting to take shape for the long term, good news is coming, victory, happy times. Both of these cards, see the Three of Fire and the Star, both say making long term plans and being on the right path. A lot of you that are really overwhelmed, you need to know that there is some kind of news, a recognition or glory coming for you that is going to prove that you're on the right path. And it's either going to prove that you're on the right path now, or it's going to redirect you to what way it is that you need to go, okay? So do have faith. I feel, Aries, that there is something really exciting on the periphery for you. You're making a lot of fun plans for the future, a lot of goals that you're really excited about. And I think with the Star as well and the manifestation card, I think that this is something, whether even it be love or be career, I feel like there is something in your life that is taking shape that you've wanted for a very long time. Something that you have dreamt about, wished for, been excited about, thought about a lot. You know, it's always been a big path of yours. It's starting to come to fruition. And the reason that it's starting to come to fruition, Aries, is because you've learned to mature and you've learned to see things from a different perspective and another viewpoint, which is actually really interesting. So the other cards that I had here for you were the King of Swords, the Four of Wands and the Eight of Wands. So one thing, if you're looking for, you know, romance or love, one thing I'm seeing here is that in order to strengthen a current relationship or to attract a love that you want, one of the things that is going to be, in particularly for you in love, is going to be intellectual stimulation. People that you have common interests with, people that you can have conversations with. I see that if you're attracting love at this time or romance, it is with people who are quite brainy, people that are quite smart, people that have a lot to say, people that have a lot of interesting caps to their bow. Is that the expression? No, it's not. People that have a lot of interesting hobbies, a lot of interesting passions, but really good communication as far as love goes and as far as romance goes. And one of the reasons for this, Aries, is because Venus is in your third house of communication. So the planet of love is in your sector of communication, meaning that the people you will be most attracted to and the people you will most attract will be similar to you on an intellectual level. They could be air signs, sun, moon, or rising, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini people. They could be people who are very witty, with the King of Swords there, but people that you really share a rapport with, people that you don't run out of things to say with them. And I think for a lot of you, if you have not heard from somebody, if you're completely single, there's nobody of interest, I feel like you could be hearing from somebody quite soon who is an air sign or who meets those characteristics, right? Yes, I feel like a lot of your love life is to do with intellectual stimulation and conversation. So it's also with the Four of Wands and the Eight of Wands, I feel that some kind of commitment in love could take off quite quickly. Another reason for this is because of the Ten of Pentacles energy. Now we have the Emperor, the Four of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles here. So the Ten of Pentacles can suggest with the Four of Wands things becoming more solid, things becoming more stable. But really with the Emperor, the Four of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles, what I'm seeing for you, Aries, is that you have a lot of career success coming up this year, okay? So this doesn't have to all happen in July in terms of career. I think that for a lot of you, this is just the remainder of the year with Mars being in your sign, is what I'm seeing with the Aries energy here of the Emperor. That represents Mars, okay? So one of the things as well that's coming up here is that you need to understand that if you take a break from work or you rest, Aries, it's actually really important. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. I feel that some of you have this fear of missing something, a fear of like, it's kind of like work FOMO or money FOMO with the Four of Swords. You're afraid of taking a break. And I think the reason for it is because you want this momentum. You know, the spiritual maturity card, you see this climb up the mountain and you're thinking, I want to get to the top as quick as I can, right? But whatever this is, because I feel like things are taking off really quickly, but don't forget, I need to breathe. I'm talking so quickly. I'm sorry. Don't forget that Mars, your ruler, is going to retrograde in your sign in September. And one of the things about that is that it will call on you to rest a little bit. And if you push yourself too hard, Aries, you might actually get sick. Okay? That's a warning from the 10 of Wands as well. You will either get, a cold or a flu, or if you're exercising too much, if it's a fitness goal, you will hurt yourself. Just be careful. Do make time to rest and see it as something productive. See it as a time when you can recharge, really replenish your body, nourish your soul, whatever, in order to work harder. Because I do feel like for you, Aries, there's a lot of career success, a lot of financial success coming towards you by the end of the year. And of course, with Uranus being in your financial sector, it can actually happen quite quickly. I see November. I know that this is a mid-July reading, and I'm sorry that I'm diverting a little bit, but I see November as being a time when you could actually make quite a lot of money. So other cards that I got for you were the Firefly, the Moth, the Lion, and the Hummingbird. So first and foremost, the Firefly, you do run the risk of burning yourself out at the minute. I think a lot of you are overwhelmed. I really do. I think a lot of you are feeling exhausted. I feel like a lot of you have done too much, or you feel like you have to keep going. You want to keep this fire burning, because I think a lot of you are really scared of losing something. Be it an opportunity, be it a job, or very scared of losing a person. I just keep hearing that you're scared of it burning out. But what's really interesting about the 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands is that you can rest assured, Aries, that the things in your life that are taking off and manifesting for you at the minute are kind of more along the lines of long term. Even the long term word came up twice here. Long term plans, make long term plans, long term wishes, that kind of thing. With the Moth, I think that you really want to keep the momentum going, and you really want to make haste is one thing. I also feel with the Moth card that you may be idolizing other people, especially with the Emperor here and the King of Swords. I feel like you may be, what's the word? Yes, idolizing people at the expense of your own self-esteem. Whether it's that you think people are more attractive than you, or you think people are smarter than you. I feel like there is a little bit of comparison going on here that's quite unhealthy, and you need to stop that, because you're really stepping into your power with the Emperor. And I know that you're very worried about something being fleeting or going dull or burning out or something, but there is a sense of, with the Lion and the Hummingbird, I feel that there is a sense that you are, whether it's love or whether it's career, I feel like you're actually heading down a path that's very based on loyalty to other people. So whether it's that you're going into a company or a job that is family based or has loyalty as a priority, dedication, respect, these are all big themes in terms of your commitments. Yeah. The Lion energy is very patient. I feel like there's a need for you to be a bit more patient, Whatever it is that you're worried about burning out or going too quickly or not lasting or not being sustainable, the only way that's going to happen, Aries, is if you don't rest. It's just the one thing I'm saying is, making sure that you're prioritizing your mental health, making sure that you're being positive, because in order to stay enthusiastic, I feel that you really need to explore your creative, spiritual side, nurture yourself, know where you get your nectar with the Hummingbird, know what sustains you, what brings you back to yourself. And I feel like that's what's leading you towards this 10 of Pentacles. So if you're worried about career, success, I've given you as much information as I can to get there. But just know, Aries, blessed, assured, with the Star card, you're really on the right path, okay? So love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.